Hey everybody, welcome back to Floyd's Records. I'm your host, Floyd Sampson. Today we're going to be reviewing the new Weezer album, Van Weezer. So this is the album that came out, their second album to come out this year, following OK Human, which I thought was just okay. I'll do a review of that album later if anybody wants to hear it. I meant to do it a while back. But anyway, let's get to this thing. So this, again, I don't remember which number this album is in their discography. I was going to look it up, but I forgot to do that. But anyway, it's their second album this year, which I'm going to get to later, talking about their prolific songwriting and album output, if you will. But this is a really good album. Again, this is Van Weezer. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard it. I'm sure a lot of people have heard it. It's a very good album. I really enjoy it, and I'm going to get into the details here to kind of review it and talk about it and discuss it, if you will. So I've been waiting for this thing for a while now. I was pumped up for it last year when it was supposed to come out, and that's actually something I'm going to mention, maybe talk about more later, maybe not. But I do think it's a little bit late. I think this thing would have been a bigger smash if it had come out last year amid the COVID pandemic. Because you got a lot of people that released albums even though you had a huge COVID problem, and I kind of liked the idea of people not really caring and just, because who cares? Keep making music. Don't let a pandemic stop you from making music. I kept working and I kept doing stuff and whatever, so don't give up just because times are hard. And I'm not saying Weezer gave up. I'm saying that it would have been cooler if it came out last year. Anyway, I think Weezer's a great band. I really love their music. Let's get into this album. I'm going to go track by track on this thing. I took a few notes that I have written down here so I can kind of keep up with everything, because I don't do a bunch of cuts on this video, so it's kind of hard for me to, I can't say something and then say something again and then cut it later and make it seem like I'm a genius, because I'm not. But anyway, let's get here. So let's get to this. So the first track is called Hero. It's not the best way to open up an album. I do love the reference to Spider-Man in the lyrics, so I'm kind of biased towards it already. It sounds kind of like a Christian, like a contemporary Christian comfort song, if that makes any sense. And I'm not dissing Christian music, but I'm saying that's kind of what it feels like to me. It's the only song on that record that sounds a little bit like a Christian song, but it's not bad. But don't think it's the best album opener. I think they should have opened up the album with The End of the Game. I think that would be a lot better and more straightforward, but hey, whatever, to each his own. Track 2, All the Good Ones. I like this song more. It sounds instantly like Weezer. The moment it starts, it just has a Weezer intro. Like, it's undoubtedly Weezer. It's kind of it's got Beverly Hills vibes to me, and I do like the riff in the song. It's a good song. It's, again, better than Hero already. Moving on to track 3, The End of the Game. This is my favorite song off the album, and it was the first single. When I first heard this single, I remember thinking, whoa, they're really going to do it. They're going to try this, excuse me, this Van Halen approach to their music with a lot of tapping and everything. And anyway, it sounds like Eddie Van Halen. It sounds like a Van Halen song. I do wish there was more tapping on the album. They don't do it as much as they led on with an album cover like they have and the album title like they have. I expected more Van Halen-ish stuff going on, but it's more of like the whole album just kind of serves as almost, what do you want to say, homage to 70s and 80s classic and hard rock. But anyway, The End of the Game should have opened up the album. I wrote here that it sounds like Eddie Van. This is what the Beach Boys would have sounded like if Eddie Van Halen was their guitarist. To me, that's because it's got such a, with the ooh, all the woos and everything. It's got Beach Boy type lyrics. It's like Brian Wilson wrote it with whoever he wrote with during the Pet Sound sessions. I forgot his name. Forgive me. But anyway, going on a track. I did it right here. I do love how he says, "I know that you will crank this song, air guitaring with your headphones on," because I feel like that nails it. That nails the kind of the vibe of the album. Track 4, I Need Some of That. It's not as good as The End of the Game, but it's a very good song. It sounds very 80s the entire time. I do enjoy the Asia sample that they got going on. To me, it sounds like a Boston song. And the ending, the very ending of the song reminds me of a song called Bull Session. I think it's called Bull Session with Big Daddy. It's the very end of the Beach Boys album, Here Today. No, sorry, the Beach Boys Today. My bad. It's called The Beach Boys Today. And the very end of that album, there's like this. The last track is just an interview with the band, a real quick interview of them basically just eating dinner or whatever, and they're being interviewed, and they sound like they're so uninterested. Well, the very ending of this song, I Need Some of That, has that feeling. You got this recording of the band talking amongst themselves, or these people talking amongst themselves. I don't know if it's I don't know what all the band members sound like, to be honest, so I can't say, oh, that's Rivers and that's whatever, but you can definitely hear them talking. Anyway, that's what it reminds me of. Good song. Moving on, you got Beginning of the End. Not bad. It sounds more like old Weezer to me, but the chorus is probably the weakest on the album. It doesn't do as much for me as the other songs do. It sounds a little bit like it's rushed. The verses are good, but the chorus just sounds a bit rushed, like they had a good song and they just, let's do a chorus real quick. And there's some songs in this album that sound like that, and there's another one coming up that I'll get to. But going on to Blue Dream, probably the funnest song on the album, if you ask me. My brother Patrick, he actually said that it sounds like Crazy Train meets Octopus's Garden by the Beatles from Abbey Road, and that's a great way to compare it. And actually, or a great way to phrase it. And speaking of Abbey Road, I want to show you guys something real quick. This is, if you open up the lyric booklet, you get this little picture in there. I thought that was kind of cool. You got all this 80s and 70s hard rock references, and then you got a reference to Abbey Road in the middle of the lyrical booklet. But anyway, that's cool. And I was going to mention, I do love the fact that there's lyrics in this thing. I wish more bands did that. It's really cool. So there's great guitar work on Blue Dream. Of course, it's the riff from Crazy Train, pretty much. It's just Weezer-fied. I do like it. Again, it's a really fun song. Nothing wrong with it. Moving on to One More Hit. This is more Weezer meets like a Megadeth Metallica feel. The riff is very thrashy, not as fast as thrash metal, but that's definitely a riff that I feel like Megadeth would come up with. And I'm a Megadeth fan more than Metallica, so sorry. Metallica is good, Megadeth is the best. That's how I phrase it. I'm not crazy about the drug lyrics. I do like the chorus. It's kind of mean sounding, but I'm not crazy about the drug stuff. It's a little bit forced. And I get it. It's like it sounds like let's write a cliche drug song with a good riff. Kind of like Do You Want to Get High off the White Album. But I think Do You Want to Get High off the White Album is a better written song lyrically than this one is. Where it's obvious that Do You Want to Get High is slamming drug use, and this one is a little bit more, I guess, tongue-in-cheek. I'm not sure how to phrase it the best. But anyway, so it's not bad. Let's go on to Sheila Can Do It. I originally said it sounded like Green Day meets ELO, and then my brother was talking to me about it, and he said it sounds like Ramones meets the Beatles. And I was like, we basically said the exact same thing. He got his punk rock influence, punk garage rock influence meets the ELO Beatles, pop sound. And of course, ELO is basically just progressive rock version of the Beatles. But anyway, the chorus is a bit repetitive, but that's okay. It's still a good song. It's one of my favorites off the album. Track 9, She Needs Me. It feels like a filler song. It's not near as, I guess, fulfilling as the other tracks on the record. I would say it's the only song on this record that feels filler to me. It's got another repetitive chorus, kind of like the beginning of the end. But, it's okay. Moving on to Precious Metal Girl, my second favorite song off the album. It's a great closer. It reminds me of Ordinary World by Green Day from Revolution Radio, but a better song. I wrote here that it sounds like another Brian Wilson song. Again, there's Beach Boys all over this thing. And you can disagree with that if you want me to, but if you want to, but Weezer is pretty much have almost always been Nirvana meets Beach Boys. I mean, as far as the woos go, the melodies go, and their production, it's always sounded like Beach Boys stuff to me, just with harder guitars. But anyway, it reminds me of Endless Bummer a little bit from the White Album, and it's just a great way to close the record. And speaking of the White Album is, my opinion, their best work. I know, there's a lot of Blue Album and Pinkerton fans out there. You know, whatever, you can have your own opinion. But the White Album is my personal favorite record, and I think this is their best since the White Album. It's not better, but overall, I give it a score of 73 out of 100. Again, on this one, I ranked every single song individually and then got a score out of 100. So I took some final notes here. It sounds like a good summer album. I do like the tapping sprinkled throughout. I wish there was more of that guitar stuff going on, but whatever. Again, I said it was released a little bit late. Many songs sound super 80s hard rock with powerful choruses, and lyrically, there's a lot of references. I do like the simple lyrics, and I like that you can actually hear what he's saying. A lot of bands today, they make these songs and you don't even know what they're saying. I do like how you can always hear what Rivers Cuomo is saying. I wrote down here that when I first listened, all the bands that came to my mind were 38 Special, Boston, Van Halen, Ramones, Green Day, Beatles, ELO, and Cheap Trick, or a bunch of bands that came to my mind. Oh, this sounds like could be a Cheap Trick song. This could be an ELO song. This could be, Ramones. This could be 38 Special, Boston, whatever. It's definitely a more solid record than OK Human, if you ask me. OK Human is really good for the first 3 songs, and it kind of dies down a little bit. And if you want me to review that album, let me know in the comments. I'll do that. It's great for Weezer to be this prolific. They release tons of albums every single year. I say tons. They usually release 1 to 2 albums a year. They are good songwriters. They're a good band, and I wish more bands were like that. Nowadays, for most bands, you have to wait 3 or 4 years for an album, and that's just stupid. I mean, back in the day, the Beach Boys released 2 albums a year, the Beatles released 2 albums a year, even Led Zeppelin released 2 albums a year sometimes, and I miss that stuff. I wish bands went back to doing that kind of thing. This is a big album. It could have been bigger, I feel like, but it's short, sweet, to the point, and I really don't have a whole lot of complaints. Again, 73 out of 100. It's a great album, one of the best albums of the year so far. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you agree with me, agree. If you disagree, disagree. Like the video, dislike the video, leave a comment. I'd love to hear some feedback. Anyway, y'all have a good one.